place, let's henceforth with our present topic of the day, how not to look like a fresh fish. Alright, so I talked about a few of these things during my live stream the other night, but I want to make it official and put it underneath the title that goes for it. Alright, so check it out. One of the main things, one of the number one things that people do when they first get into jail, and I can tell right off the bat that they are brand new to the system, alright? And this is something you should avoid. I'm going to tell you exactly what you should do instead of doing this, alright? People will walk into their cell. Sometimes, first off, make sure you are walking into the right cell. Just like the 19-year-old I had on the show not too long ago, Matt, he said he walked to the wrong cell. Okay, that's one of the first mistakes. Don't do that. Learn from Matt's mistakes. Do not walk to the wrong cell. Okay, that's already bringing hotness and attention to yourself. The second thing is, and a lot of people do this that have never been to jail before in their life, they will take all their stuff, put it into the cell, and then they'll come out the cell and stand right by their cell door, just looking around. You know, they don't know who to talk to, what to do, and they're just looking around. You can usually tell right off the bat that guy ain't never done any time at all, okay? Most people that have done time, they're going to get in, throw all their stuff in the cell, get out the cell. They're either going to walk to the phone and try to get on the phone and talk to their loved ones and try to get in the mix, or they might know someone in the pod. But if you don't know someone, look, do this. If you do this after you put your stuff in your cell, most people will think that you have done time before, okay? Check it out. At least I definitely think you would have done time before if you do this immediately after stepping into the block and putting your stuff into the cell. What are you going to do? Leave the cell, go downstairs, and take a freaking shower. Just by you putting all your stuff in the cell and then walking directly into the shower, people are going to look at you like, okay, he's comfortable, he's probably done time, and this, that, and third. Do not forget your shower shoes, though. Okay, walk in there with your little sandals. Okay, do not be like me when I was 17 walking into jail for the first time, going into the shower without my shower shoes. Do not be one of those guys. So yes, jumping in the shower immediately after you get into the block, people will think that you are more relaxed and you probably have done time. Or you can leave your cell and go straight to the phone. Or you can leave your cell and go straight to the TV. Even cuff your ear towards the TV. You know what I mean? When you do this, when you do the little ear cuff, people are like, oh yeah, he's done time. He's done time. That's an old jail and penitentiary trick, man. You know, cuff the ear to hear the TV better. You know what I mean? Don't go up to the TV like this, though. That ain't gonna help you out at all. People are just gonna think you're freaking crazy. You know what I mean? What? That ain't gonna help you. That ain't gonna help you watch the TV. And another thing that you could do after you do all the shower stuff, you can go around and ask someone that, you know, looks kind of friendly or something if they have an extra piece of paper or a pen that you can use, maybe a stamped envelope, something along those lines, because those are the things people ask for first when they get locked up, all right? They need to write a letter. If they can't get on the phone, they need to write a letter. And most people are going to look out for you, man. They'll give you a little piece of paper, envelope, stamp or something, but just by you immediately going and asking people for this stuff, they're gonna be like, okay, homeboy's relaxed, he's probably done time. You know what I mean? You don't want to be standoffish as soon as you get into the block. People are gonna know that you've never done time because you're sticking to yourself looking crazy by your freaking cell door while everybody's out the cell down in the pod, you know, mingling. Another thing you definitely should not do is refuse to eat your food. That's right. A lot of people, when they're fresh into jail for the first time, they're like, man, I ain't eating this bull crap. Here, you can have it. And, hey, someone's going to be there right in the nick of time to grab that tray from you. Trust me, there's going to always be someone waiting for that new person to walk in the block, see how they're going to act towards that nasty, filthy tray that they love because they've been there, they've done that. That tray that's coming in the little chuck hole is something they want extra of, okay? And these new guys typically don't want to eat that crap. Do not do that, man. For real, you're gonna regret it at the end of you'll regret it at the end of the night because you're gonna be so freaking hungry that you're not gonna be able to think right. So when they serve that tray, I strongly recommend that you eat every last morsel off that thing. Okay, people are gonna be like, okay, homeboy ain't got no problem with eating his tray. You know, he's probably done time. You know, that's how they think. You come into the jail block and you start refusing trays and stuff like that, hey, someone's going to be there to grab it very quick. They're going to take that food very quick, and they're all going to know that you ain't never done time because everyone who's done time eats those freaking trays. And I guarantee you will within a few hours, okay? Once your stomach's touching your back, you're going to eat them trays, my friend.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the JW Free Podcast. My name is James. I'm your host, and I'm going to go into it today. And so I'm going to tell y'all off the top, it's probably going to be some cussing. It's probably going to be some, we're going to talk about some sensitive material in terms of these cases that the governing body is facing. And I'm going in today. I'm going in. So if you're sensitive, go ahead and turn it down. If you got your kids around, go ahead and turn it down. Send them off. Whatever you got to do. But I need to talk about it. And I know y'all wondering, what does that opening audio have to do with the Jehovah's Witness organization and your podcast? And some of you have probably already put it together. But for those of you who haven't, you know me, I'm going to bring it all around. I'm going to bring it all together. The other day, I was driving, and I was actually at the lake, and I was sitting there. And you know how sometimes you can know something, and then later on, next year, next month, whatever it is, the actual weight of that thing finally settles in on you. You know what I mean? I think I've said this before. You can know something, but when you become conscious of it, those are two different things. Well, that's what happened to me with regard to these abuse cases with these elders and the governing body. I remember sitting there thinking like, what? And I know, y'all, we've been talking about this stuff and we've been mentioning and we've been showing articles and all these different things, but the weight of it sat on me that day. And I remember thinking to myself, what in the fuck is wrong with these grown men who are helping the governing body hide these atrocities against these kids? What are they thinking about? Grown men who probably have kids of their own. Grown men, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, who have bypassed their own empathy, if they all have it. They have bypassed that. They have bypassed, being able to help a kid and remove them from a situation that is harmful to them. They're already harmed because of your religious poison that you're teaching them. They're already disconnected with that. That's why it probably, in my mind, becomes easier for them to end up in these situations. And then you're allowing, not even allowing, but you're not saying anything about these men, grown men, who are grooming a child for their perversions. Do you hear? What are you thinking about? And it is clear, Jehovah's Witnesses don't want to listen to us anyway. You can keep pretending what we're saying isn't true. You can keep pretending, but we're past that. But it's clear that these men are not listening to anything or doing any thinking. So today is going to be a public service announcement for the wives of these elders, of these governing body members. Sister elder, sister governing body member, sister ministerial servant, sister, my husband's on the judicial committee. I'm talking to you today because I know you don't want to hear what we have to say either, most of you. But I also know women to be very logical, right? And some of you guys are disagreeing with me. That we're not doing that today. I know women to be very logical, okay? When it matters especially when it comes to children. So I'm attempting to get you to reason and tap into your paternal instincts, your maternal instincts, whatever the right word is. I'm going to be talking directly to you today because I know you know your husband better than he knows himself. Okay? And we all know this to be true for the most part. Okay? That's the reason your woman, when you guys first get together and she's asking you all these questions and trying to figure out how you think, how you're going to respond in certain situations. So when she gets ready to do whatever it is she's planning to do, she going to know how to handle you. Well, ladies, I'm going to need that from you, but this time working in a positive way so we can help rescue, these kids that are going through these horrors, okay? I need you on the same page with me because this is way past important, right? I used to think when people talked about our future and the children, I used to always think when I was younger that it was just politics and just the way to sound good and feel good to get that message across or whatever was happening at the time. But now that I'm older, It is about that. It is about these kids because they're the next generation of judges. They're the next generation of presidents. They're the next generation of everything. These are the people that are going to be governing us. And we can't have these kids turning into adults running around full of trauma, scoring 3 and 4s on the ACEs tests, adverse childhood experiences. Do you hear me, Mama, Sister Elder? Can you hear me? Please listen to me today. Hearken unto my voice. Isn't that what the Bible say? Hearken unto my voice, so we can help your dumbass husbands. Yeah, I told you I'm going in today. We can help them see the error in their ways. Have you ever dated, ladies, a man who's been traumatized, sexually abusive, whatever his deal is, but especially sexually? You're going for a roller coaster ride. And fellas, same thing for you. Have you ever dated a woman who's been sexually traumatized? You're going for a roller coaster ride. Not to say these people can't come back, but many times they don't. And even if they do come back, the transition to get to bringing themselves back up to par, if they can get that far, is still a roller coaster ride. You're going to get some trauma behind that. You understand what I'm saying? So we can't allow these elders to continue supporting the governing body and hiding these things. Okay? So here's why I played that audio in the first place. Sister Elder, Sister Ministerial Servant, Sister Governing Body Member, Sister Circuit Overseer, your husbands are starting to go to jail for not reporting this stuff. Okay? I'll put the links at the bottom so you don't have to, as I always do, you're not going to get me on here and pretend like I don't provide what I'm saying to you. Okay? Your husbands are starting to go to jail. Now, before we get to jail, okay, I'm going to ask you, Sister Elder, why aren't you thinking about this issue? Why? As a mom, for those of you who are mothers, why aren't you thinking about the importance of what is happening right now? Where in your mind, because you know how he thinks, where in your husband's mind and yours did you guys decide there's absolutely nothing wrong with hiding the torture these kids are going through? Where? When? Tell me how. Matter of fact, don't say nothing to me. Ask yourself this question. When did that become okay? Because the governing body said so? Show me where in your Bible this is okay. Well, let me not say that because there's a lot of horrible stuff in the Bible that is made to be okay. So let me not say that. I'm sorry. Strike that from the record. But the point I'm making is, what the fuck is wrong with you too? That you're sitting there, yeah, this is Jehovah's will. If that is the case, fuck your Jehovah. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I told you I'm going in today. And you know what? I'm going to say it again later on down the line. You know why? Because nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. If you are serving a God where he is trying to hide all this pain and suffering, and he is saying, yes, hide it. Come on, man. We can't keep doing this. We cannot keep pretending that this stuff is okay. We just can't. Now, I'm not saying that your husbands are taking part in the actual execution of the atrocities against these kids, right? I'm trying my best to be vague and exact at the same time, y'all, right? Because I don't want nobody flagging me for no stupid shit. You know what I mean? But I'm not saying that all elders are a part of this. Probably most elders don't even have to deal with this issue, right? I'm not saying that you're actually taking part of doing these things to these kids, but you are taking part in helping hide it. Now, we all know what's going to happen to the perpetrators of these crimes against kids when they go to jail. But Sister Elder, Sister Ministerial Servant, Sister Governing Body Member, Sister Circuit Overseer, what do you think is going to happen to your husbands when the inmates find out that he was helping the perpetrator of these crimes by covering them up? Have you thought about this? If you haven't, you better start now. And I'm going to get back to the inmates in a second. But let me ask you one more question, sister. Let me ask you one more sensible, sane, rational question. Have you thought about when they take your husband off to jail, what's going to happen to your household? Have you thought about the effects on you? But most importantly, if you already have children who, by the way, are already jacked up from the poison you're giving them.